Okay, so what I did is I opened up package B and I laid out all the pieces according to what was in the instructions so I know what everything is. And this is the house, so which is what we're going to start with. And what you want to do is grab the face of the house, and we're going to grab windows, so that's B16 is the top window, like that. And then we have two smaller windows, which are B20, like that. And then B18 is like the doorway, so just go in like that. And so you're just going to want to glue that in place to finish the face of the house. So that's kind of step one, and the face of the house is B2. And then you want to dress up the outside of the house by putting shutters on it. So the shutters that they recommend are B17, which is 2 pieces. They go up on top like that. And you kind of have to flip the pieces over so you know where the lines are, the design is. And then the other 4 shutters are B21. So you would put smaller shutters. Oops. And sometimes it works to have a tweezers because these pieces are very, very small. There we go. I got 2 more B21 pieces. Oops. So you kind of have this nice shutter, nice kind of decorative and architectural face of your house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that into place and let it dry, and then I'll come back and show you what step 3 is. While you're waiting for your glue to dry, you can take D7, which is the lace, and you want to cut a 2 by 1.5 centimeter piece out of the lace. So it will look like that. So 1.5 centimeters across and 2 centimeters up and down. And then when the front of your house is dry, I'm going to show you what that looks like. You can see that the windows are flush, so I kind of like popped them in the house. They really didn't have to be glued. And the shutters themselves are kind of sitting on top of the house. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over, and this piece of lace that I cut is going to become the curtain across the top of this window. And to do that, just gonna take my piece of lace, I'm just gonna glue it over the top just like that. I think I'm gonna go this way. There we go. And so you're just going to glue on that side and that side. You don't want glue, of course, in the window part. And you want to do this before we put the wallpaper on. So I'm going to glue that down and then I'll come back. Okay, so while we're waiting for that glue to dry, there's a paper that came with your kit that has all these different items. They call them stickers, but you really have to cut these out and then we glue them onto the pieces. And what you want to focus on is all the wallpaper pieces, so A8 through A812. And then there's also a floor piece over here that's A815, and we're going to have to cut that out as well. And I don't know if you could see this in the camera, but there's even little marks to cut the windows. I guess you guys can kind of see it. Cut the windows and the doorway out so that way it will mimic the cutouts on your piece. And then when we have that cut cutout, we can glue that right on to the piece and we'll have the inside of the house completed. Okay, so my glue is dried and I have my piece cut out. To cut out these window openings, I use an X-Acto knife and then I used a scissors just to cut around the edge. And then all I'm going to do is just place it over the inside of my house face. And you can use, I've been using tacky glue by the way to glue everything together, but when I do the wallpaper, I usually grab a glue stick so that way the glue is more evenly distributed. So I'll be gluing that down and then that will finish the face of the house. And then we're ready to move on to another side. So we're going to take piece B3 and this one has the patio doors. So the patio doors are piece B22 and we're just going to glue that right in there so it will stay in place like that. I haven't glued it yet, but I will. And then when that is finished, you can turn it over so the inside of the house is facing. And then you can take your piece, which is A810, that's your wallpaper piece, take a glue stick, and then you're just going to glue it on like so. And you can set that off to dry. The next side would be B4. So it kind of has like a little arch in it. And all we need to do is flip that over and take your paper piece, which is A89. Again, take your glue stick and glue it right on like that. So I have that done. And then you have a piece with a little window. This is piece B7 and the window is B23. So you're just going to take and glue that in. Then when that's dry, flip it over. And then you're going to take your paper piece, which is A812, glue stick again, and glue it right on. Just like so. And the last one is going to be piece B8. This is another doorway again. You're going to be taking B25, gluing that right into place. When that's dry, you're going to turn it over, take your wallpaper piece A811, glue stick, and glue that in place. So to have all your walls done for your house. You also want to do your base, which is B1. There's going to be a little hole in here, and that's going to be for the electrical wiring we're going to do at the end of the project. And because of that, there's a little hole, I don't know if you can see it, there you go, that you need to cut out, and that's just so the electrical wiring will fit through. Just line them up like so, glue stick, and you're going to glue that in place. Set that off to the side to dry, and this sticker is A82. And then we have one final piece on this page, which is B6, and then you want to take another paper piece, which is A816, glue stick again, and then you just want to take and glue this on. I think both sides are the same, so it doesn't matter as long as you got the notches where they're supposed to be. And then you can set that off to the side, and when all those pieces have dried, we can then begin to build the house. So you're going to have your base, all your walls, and then we'll start making this 2D project into a 3D project. One thing I forgot to mention is on this wall with the window, this is the piece B7 with the window, it's B23. I already glued on the wallpaper on the inside. But you're supposed to take and glue some shutters on each side of the window, and these shutters are B24. You should have 2 of them. So just take your tacky glue and glue them on either side of the window like that, and then once everything is dried, we'll assemble the house. Okay, so I think this is the trickiest part of the project because we're going to start doing the assembly and also the wiring. So I'm going to start with my house face, and I'm going to turn it so the inside is facing. Now what I want to do is also find the arch wall, because we're going to attach that to the house. And we're going to attach it so this little piece is facing up, and we're just going to glue it. And hopefully I can show you guys. So we're just going to glue it so this piece is on the inside of the house, right up on the edge like that. And it's important that we glue these together first because we're going to run a wire along the inside corner of the wall. And that is going to be for the bedroom light as well as the living room light. So I'm just going to take my tacky glue, and I'm just going to run like a small bead like right up the side, and take my wall, turn it, and glue. And hopefully, just try to make it sure that your wall is straight. Which I think I got it the first time, so I think we're okay. And then I want to add the light, and how I do that is I take one of the LED lights, and it comes straight, but all you have to do is bend it. You want to bend it because it's going to be bent in the house, so that way it fits under the roof. And it's going to go right up in the corner here, not too close because we're going to install the roof too, but you want to make sure that you get it like as close to the top as possible. And I'm just going to glue that in place and have the wire follow the roof line and then follow the wall. It's going to take me a lot of manipulating to get it to where I want it to be. So I'm going to do that off camera, but make sure that you get your light up in the corner. Have it follow the roof line on the inside and then follow the wall, the corner on the inside as well. Okay, I was able to get my light glued on the upstairs of the house. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece, this is B6, this is our second floor, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it, hey Biscuit, we're going to put it on our house right, so the floor comes right to the bottom of the second story window, and the notch is facing inwards because this is where the wire is going through. So we just place, and we're just going to glue that in place, and that will help square up the wall. And then I'll glue that so it looks like this, and then I'll come back and show you how to install the downstairs light. So I have a clamp holding the wire down until the glue dries up on top, but the floor seems to be nice and dry, so I'm going to continue on. So you're just going to grab another LED light, and you're going to take and flip the light like so. So you have like a 90-degree angle. And it's going to go right up underneath that floor, just like that. And then the wire itself is going to follow along the inside corner, like the wire from the upstairs light. And then you're just going to glue that in place. So I'm going to get all that glued, get all the wires in the downstairs portion glued, and let those dry. I usually tend to let those dry for like 2 hours because it's really, I put a lot of glue to hold the wires down, and so it takes a while to dry. And then we can go on to finishing the rest of the house because I believe those are the only wires. Yeah, those are the only 2 lights in the whole house. So I'll come back after this is dried. So now that this is dried, I'm going to install this next wall. Now this wall goes like so. So it's both like the downstairs and the upstairs together. So I'm just going to glue that on like that. Once that's dry, I'm going to glue it all to this base. So that way I can start pulling the wires through this hole and then get ready to install my other 2 walls. So I finished putting the main part of the house together. It's still a little wet. I'm still maneuvering it around and trying to make sure it dries. But what I want to do is finish up this first part of the video by showing you that I'm taking the last piece that has the window, and this piece is going to be glued onto the base and the wall like so. And once you have this piece glued on, I put my thumb there to hold it, you're going to take the last piece with the French door and glue it on like so. So then you have kind of this separate extension of the house. And all I did is I just pulled each wire through that hole, and I did that to keep it out of the way because it was getting in the way of my gluing. But once I have that glued on, we will be done with part 1. We're going to let this dry thoroughly, and then we'll come back and do part 2 where we do the roof, the deck, and the porches, and the front doors. And then we'll be done with the house, which means we're done with quite a bit of the kit already. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.